All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. I'd also like to give double honors to my elders, bishops, and apostles of Great Millstone that do root well. And I would like to say peace and salutations to the Lord's elect, to the hopeful elected in 1/3. And Adawan Ratazah, this lesson will be edifying as well as exhorting to the sincere sheep of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai Bahashem Rakah Kodash and the Wada Abanawa Yahweh Bashem Yahushai Bahashem Rakah Kodash. Forgive me the inspiration to do this lesson. And as the title reads, you're witnessing a modern day minstrel show. Okay. And pretty much I was, surfing through YouTube last night. And matter of fact, let me actually share my screen. I was surfing through YouTube last night and started watching some documentaries, okay, as you see right here, okay, and I came across the Jim Crow Museum, all right, and I found this to be very edifying. All right, as you can see, I watched the whole video, okay, it was very edifying, but what I took from it and learned from it was the whole angle of Jim Crow was set up. It was set up to portray our people in a notion to the general public in comparison to truth. So with the curses, okay, through prophecy and a process of time, now Jake is literally mimicking the minstrel show that Esau Edom was portraying us to be. Okay, the modern day rappers, entertainers, the female, gender, male, even the children. Okay, so you have to understand when the Holy Spirit is getting on 2/3, all right, and rebuking them for their actions, their worldly ways. That's because, in the Spirit, we're telling you, hey, we have no continuing city. This is not our rest. You shouldn't be making a covenant with death, things of that nature. So, I said all that to say this. So I want to go into some scriptures and some precepts, showing you that the modern day, black success story is nothing more than a modern day minstrel show. Now, when you look up the word minstrel show, it means aimed to confirm racist beliefs that black people were not civilized enough to be treated as equal. Okay, and they did it in a very humorous manner. This is why there's stereotypes that befall us and follow us, and those stereotypes are also known as bywords. Okay, so check this out. Deuteronomy 28:37, because us as the true children of Yahweh Bashem Shai, the true children of Israel, we are under curses right now as a nation. This is why you see so-called black and brown people, so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, all right, in a very low, impoverished condition, because we're being judged of curses by our power, our God, okay? And salvation is only for us as the chosen nation of Israel, hence why we're going through this punishment right now. And this is why we needed a savior to save us from the curses that befell us for breaking the commandments under the first covenant. Okay, so when you Christians talk about needing a savior, well, you don't have curses that you've been put under that you need to be saved from. All right, so it says Deuteronomy 28:37, because if you go to verse 15, it says right here, but it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Okay, so this is us being overtaken, all right, by the curses that were put upon us prophetically. And this is why here in what you know as America, you see so-called black, brown people, all right, so-called African-American, so-called Spanish people, so-called Native American. You see a certain stigma, okay, over them, their children, their lifestyle, in comparison to other nations, chiefly the so-called white man, who is Esau Edom, according to the Bible. Now, do we have our people mingled with the heathen? Yeah. So if you say, well, what about me? What about me living in the hood too? And I'm not, well, you might be a Jake. Okay, you might be. This is why I said let the wheat and the tare grow together. So let me read this real quick. It's not going to be a long lesson, but I just wanted to touch on it because I learned, some good information pertaining to the Jim Crow era. This is why Esau, Edom doesn't move out of your way when you're walking in an aisle or a sidewalk, because during the Jim Crow era in the deep South, it was illegal for a so-called black, brown man, woman, or child to walk in the same vicinity as an Edomite. Okay, so you Edomites here in America today still exude this spirit of dominance and arrogance and cruel and unusual punishment towards the Lord's people up to this very day. Okay, and it's only increasing. This is why it says in Jeremiah, what's that, 50? Jeremiah 50 and let me see, 33. Yep, Jeremiah 50 and 33, which proves that the northern kingdom, okay, is in modern day Babylon today with the southern kingdom, because the northern kingdom of Israel fled during the Assyrian captivity. So how could Jeremiah prophesize that both kingdoms were suffering violence, all right, in the land of Babylon, when the northern kingdom, according to his historical history and precepts and biblical scriptures, show that the northern kingdom not only fled during the Assyrian captivity, but they actually migrated to what you call South America today. But in the Jewish Encyclopedia, it's also known, it's broken down as America for the definition of Azareth, which you find in 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter. Jeremiah 50 and 33. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go. This is how we know that this is referring to a modern day Babylon. This is why the virgin daughter Babylon the Great is mentioned in Revelation 17. And the virgin daughter of the Babylon the Great that's mentioned in Revelation 17 is also coined as spiritual Egypt, because this is where the true children of Israel would partake in a bondage like Egypt again. Hence why the curses say, I will send you to Egypt again, but this time on ships. So a lot of information that, proves who we are, but ultimately the spirit bears witness. So now let's go back to this. This is one of the curses, Deuteronomy 28:37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whether the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Shai, shall lead thee. So this is why you have certain coined terms that are more profound, more popular than in particular words of slang meaning to other nations. Okay. And even when you think about other nations and certain derogatory terms that will refer to them, you don't hear those terms to this day like you hear the N word. Okay. So that right there proves it too. Okay. Look, ridicule, mockery. Okay, and that's exactly what not the Jim Crow laws, but the Jim Crow blackface minstrel show. That's what it did. It made us a mockery. It made us a ridicule. It made us a proverb. It made us a reproach. It made us an astonishment. Okay, these are the look, tale. Okay, this is why during Jim Crow they would say certain myths or tales about so-called black men and their fits of sexual appetite towards so-called white women. And, the list just goes on. And like I said, it was a very informative documentary. I watched all of it and learned quite a bit, more than just the surface information and history that we know. So now that I said that, I have a few other precepts that I'm going to give you. I don't want to take too much of your time, okay? But check this out. I said, show me some history on Jim Crow minstrel shows and how we see corporations use that same tactic today with rappers, black entertainers, men, women, and children to push a stereotype about black and brown people. It says, look at this, that's a powerful and important connection to make. Let's unpack two parts: the history of minstrel shows under Jim Crow, and then how modern corporations sometimes echo those stereotypes through entertainment and media. So right here, history of the minstrel show. So here's where the stereotypes became popularized, and this is what you're witnessing is just the curses. Okay, the explanation for the actions that early European settlers, calling themselves American, coining themselves as white, the reason that we see the actions that were taking place mixed with the enmity and hatred is all found biblically. You, without acknowledging these precepts that we're bringing out, you yourself out there in the world of information and history and scholars cannot prove why this relationship was taking place between so-called blacks and so-called whites, but we can because it's prophecy and it's found in the scriptures. So check this out. Look, minstrel shows, look at 1830s, 1840s. Minstrel shows began with Edomite performers, okay, in blackface. All right, this is why you got certain movies like they'll showcase, you know, white rappers in the so-called black culture. Okay, it says blackface. Speech, music, and behavior of extravagating speech, music, and behavior of enslaved Africans. So this is why Esau Edom has no problem today making fun of you, giving you a culture, then telling you this is your culture. Okay, so look right here. Jim Crow was referred to as the lazy, foolish slave. So they do that with what? TV shows. Zip Coon, the free man portrayed as an arrogant but ignorant. Mammy, the loyal, desexualized servant. Right, reminds me of the movie. What was that? Ma. Let me look that up real quick. You know the Lord put a spirit on me to be in the movies. All right, Ma movie. Oops, let me do this. I think it's Ma. Let me do this. Yeah, right here. Look, see, Mammy. Okay, and this movie is literally a modern day Mammy where she liked the Edomite. They did certain things to her. You can watch it yourself. You know, I'm not going to go into it and say certain words that could get my video flagged, but this movie is modern day Mammy. Okay, if you look, Ma. Okay, Ma, Mammy. All right, let's keep going, and the list goes on. There's more than just that, but I'm just going look. Pickaninny, a character of black children as dirty and subhuman. What she say? They're super predators. Let's put super. And is Jake now falling in this category? Yes. This is why you're watching a modern day minstrel show, because Jake is a product. Okay. Jake is a product of Esau Edom. Edom created the nigga, man. Okay. Super predator, Clinton. I believe it was Hillary Clinton. Clinton. Right here. Okay. How the media created a super predator. Look at that. Look at that. How the media created a super predator. See? Okay. So they created Jake to be this, not a product of their environment, a product of Edom. All right. Edom created this. And let's actually prove that. This is a Sirach 13:4. If thou be for his profit, he will use thee. Just like in the movie The First Purge. The First Purge. Who did they sent out to kill? Skeletor. Okay, right here. Okay, he said, I want to purge. See, they created this. Okay, look, this is how the Jake looks in real life. But if he wants to be in a movie, he's got to portray himself like a demon. Okay, this is why when you look at the success stories of Jake in America, Babylon the Great, the virgin daughter Babylon the Great, you know, it's very like low meaning. You know, you got to play bruh man from the fifth floor. You got to dress and drag. When you rap or when you sing, it's got to be derogatory. You got to shake your ass. You got to rap about killing one another. This is a modern day minstrel show. This is why we rebuke the music industry. This is why we rebuke so-called black culture. This is why we rebuke the notions of the hood and the stereotypes, because that is not us. Okay, that is not us. We become dross. Okay, we've become dross. This is what it was going into in Lamentations, the 2nd chapter. All right, and this is why they look at us and say, how is this, the chosen? How are they, the kingdom? Okay, let me see if it pops up. If not, I can grab it. Let's go to Lamentations. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, let's go right here. All right, let's go to Lamentations. And then they hiss at us. Okay, they look at you. He pays for you to become a nigga, and then he looks down upon you when that's taking place. Okay, let me see real quick. Lamentations 2, and let's see. Look at this, man. Okay, look, we're just through Lamentations 2 and 10. The elders of the daughters of Zion sit upon the ground and that keep silence. We have no standing government. We have no our own sovereignty. This is why the prophecy of the house of David is so important with us now learning who we are, because we're coming back as a nation, but in the spirit. Okay, because we've been completely decimated. We've been stolen, we've been cast off. We've just now been reintroduced to our God, to our Savior, to our elders, our apostles, the gospel, the ministry. There's a standard to keep, there's a certain spirit to be in, and he doesn't like seeing that. This is why he constantly pushes these modern day minstrel shows of black success through folly. They have cast up dust upon their heads. They have girded themselves with sackcloth, right? Mourning. The virgins of Jerusalem hang down their heads to the ground. See? Okay, let me see. I mean, we could just keep reading and reading and reading. Look, here it is. All that pass by clap their hands at thee. Right. This is why they love going to your concerts. This is why I was just watching this the most racist what was it, the most racist town? It's Dingus, West Virginia. And the Jakes in the town was like, they only like you if you play sports. Let me go like this. Most racist town, it's D-E-G, I think it's like this, but Dingus, which is funny because that's like an insult. See? Okay, right here. Visiting the most racist town. So I was watching this last night too. And see right here, I was watching this as well. And in it, one of the Jakes was like, pretty much Esau is cool with you if you play sports. Okay, he's cool with you if you play sports, you see? All right, so let's go back to the Lamentations. All right. It says all that pass by clap their hands at thee. They hiss and wag their head at the daughter of Jerusalem, saying, "Is this the city that men call the perfection of beauty, the joy of the whole earth?" See, because when these people come across the prophets and they hear that we're the chosen, they hear that we're the greatest, but then they keep walking and they may see the ghettos, the slums, BET, the media machine that's pumping out a certain image to you. It's hard for them to believe or accept that we are the chosen, because we're under this extreme level of curses that Esau glorifies, like a modern day minstrel show. Okay, that's what he did. Like, let's go over here. We'll get rid of this. Let's put Jim Crow minstrel show. Okay, look this up. See, he's got you singing, he's got you dancing. Okay, this is how he portrays you. So this is how the general public will see you, the villain, the over-sexualized, okay? See? You got to keep your mouth shut. You got to do what he says. You got to wear the dress. This is why the Lord rebukes the portions of our people that have sold out to try to make a way or escape from the curses instead of dealing with them, just like how Moses rather suffered with his people than enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season, okay? Because you are still a nigga in the eyes of these heathens, man. All right, and your own people. You got the evil eye over us. So I mean, the only safest place you could be is in this truth near Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Rakakwadash, and the brotherhood. Outside of that, man, you're open season out here. All right, because Esau will use our own people against us. Okay. Let's hold this. Actually, let's keep reading. It says, all thy enemies have opened their mouths against thee. They hiss and gnash their teeth. They say, we have swallowed her up. Certainly, this is the day that we look for. We have found, we have seen it. You see that? So this is a conglomerate. This is a confederate. This is a crafty council specifically against us as the chosen people to keep us in a position at the bottom. And this is why the truth and prophecy, okay, is so important, because you voting, you putting someone in office, you getting a black president, you getting your own bank, you make it. No, none of that is going to fix prophetic problems, man. Okay. The Lord is going to, Yahweh is going to send Yahweh Shai to deliver us. That's how we're going to be saved. Now, It says minstrels became the most popular U.S. entertainment in 19th century. Let me actually look this up. What is a list of, because Jake's always the most popular. Most popular. Watch this. Popular black TV shows. And this is why they changed over time. Okay, instead of the Family Matters, see the Good Time, they changed all that. This is why when they showed you a so-called black man portraying himself to be Jesus, which Yahweh Shai is his true name, and he is a man of color. Okay, the mother, her line was, I think, basically, not my Jesus. Okay, it's all a scam. It's all a scheme. It's set up, man. Okay, and look, this is why this became more popular. Tyler Perry's House of Pain. See, cross dressing. Okay, Power. All right, all these new weird black movies. Okay, and this is why he always pushes that slavery spirit on you. Just stay in slavery. See, Power, Ghost, fucking, excuse my language, BMF. You see it now compared to back then, the smart Jake Urkel, but he's got to be you know what I mean? It's an agenda. Okay, it's an agenda. Like I said, I just watched a documentary, so it's fresh in my mind. I wanted to talk about it. It says shaping white audiences' view of black people. It normalized racism and provided a culture and provided a cultural foundation for segregation laws, the Jim Crow system after Reconstruction. See, so they painted a certain image, they broadcast a certain stereotype, then the world believed it, and now that was Jake's culture in the beginning. That's what created black culture. Okay. See, export to media, early film, Birth of a Nation directly borrowed minstrel stereotypes and cemented them in America's cinema. There you go. Now watch. Now let's fast forward to today. Even though blackface is no longer mainstream, hence why I said you're watching a modern day minstrel show by Jake themselves. They are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. They go to Esau for the want of all things. And this is what he gives them because he sees a prophet in them. Sirach 13:4. If thou be for his prophet, he will use thee. But if thou have nothing, he will forsake thee. This is why some Jakes get put on and other Jakes don't. See? If thou have anything, he will live with thee. He'll sign you. He'll bring you to the school. He'll bring you on set. He'll sign you to a record label. He'll do all these things. Yea, he will make thee bear and will not be sorry for it. See, modern day minstrel show. And now the blackface is actually so-called black people. Esau Edom don't even have to portray himself as blackface anymore, because now Jake is doing it himself in the name of success. See, it says, even though blackface is no longer mainstream, many corporations and media industries profit from similar stereotypes. Did you just hear that? Many corporations and media industries profit from similar stereotypes. A rapper in the music industry, we don't hate rap. We don't hate rappers. We hate thugs. See? And then there's a whole demonic backstory with the Bone Thugs and Harmony. Okay? But you see the music today. Was it music? The daughters of music will be brought low. You see the music today. It's better to hear the words of the wise and hear the songs of fools. This is why folly set in great dignity. This is Ecclesiastes 10:6. It says, folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in a low place. And the rich are who? The men of the Lord, the prophets, the priests, okay, the house of David, the hopeful elect. Okay, so they, all right, they carry themselves, in a very humble, sober, holy spirit. But then 2/3 are being set up to do what? Push this agenda that's orchestrated by Esau Edom, and then through the name of success, they think that they're doing a good thing. Let me see. I think it's Ecclesiastes 7. Let me see that real quick. Let's go to Ecclesiastes 7. Let me see right here. Let me see what we got. Yep. Ecclesiastes 7 Ecclesiastes 7 and 5. It is better to hear the rebuke of the wise, right, coming by camp, than for a man to hear the song of fools. But that is what he gives you now: foolishness, folly, minstrel show. All right, gangster, thug, going back to the TV show. Okay, none of this shit was going on in the early 90s during even the Fresh Prince, the Family Matters, A Different World, even Sister Sister. But then out of nowhere, they started pushing this gangster thuggy, okay, vibration on you. All right, see, put it together. See, see, they don't got shows like this no more. Okay, the father, the mother, okay, intelligence, and then this wicked nigga, okay, he started putting the dress on, all right, and then they slowly started merging out into wickedness like this. They did the same thing. See, look, smart guy. See, you could see it, man. If you can't see it, if you can't put the agenda together, then you got demons on you. If you can't see it, you got demons on you. Blackness. It says just like minstrel shows, dialects, extravagated dialects and mannerisms, modern rap, videos, hood, see, corporate gatekeeping, executives not often not black themselves, so-called black themselves, choose which artists get radio play, sponsorship and visibility, reinforcing certain stereotypes about black men as criminals, hypersexual, or irresponsible. There you go. Okay, you can see it in real time. Okay, let me see what else I got for you. Let me see. Yep, this is Psalms 83 and 3. It says, "They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, Come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance." And this is why we're called black today. This is why we're called black today. Okay, look, black women in entertainment. Look at this. See, look. Music videos and reality TVs often push images of Black and Latina women as loud, confrontational, overly sexual, or valuable only for their bodies. Is that not the curses? Is that not the curse? Is that not a byword? Deuteronomy 28 and 50, what is it, 5? Deuteronomy 20 and 56, the tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eye shall be evil toward her, the husband of her bosom, and toward her son and toward her daughter. Look at that. You see that right there? And look, they capitalize off the curses have become cash for Edom. Okay. Look, cartoons and marketing. Some characters aimed at black and brown youth. What is this? Extravagate. I can't even pronounce this word. Excuse me. Slang, laziness, or clownish behavior. This is gonna bother me. Let me look this up. Thank you, public schooling. Let's go here. Let's do this. Let me see real quick. Go here. Exaggerate. Jeez. Man, you could tell it's a damn long ass day on the plantation. All right. Exaggerate. He's always exaggerating. He's always emphasizing. Okay. It says in brown youth, exaggerate slang, laziness, or clownish behavior. Sport and entertainment pipelines. Corporations push the idea that young black boys should aspire to be rappers or athletes, not scientists, leaders, or entrepreneurs. This mirrors the Pickaninny ensemble characters that denied black children complexity and humanity. Wow. Why corporations do this? Stereotypes sell because they are sensational, easy to market, and familiar to audience conditions by centuries of imagery. Control of narrative. Modern minstrelly, instead of a literal blackface, corporations now use contracts, media promotions, and financial incentives to encourage entertainers to perform blackness in ways that echo minstrel characters. Look, this is why it says, woe to you that go to Egypt for help, man. Okay. And also, your covenant with death will be disannulled, man. All right. See, he's not here to save you, man. All right. This is Isaiah 30:1. Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. They walk to go down into Egypt and have not asked at my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. See? So Jake looks at Esau as a ticket out, even if that means wearing a dress, even if that means being the typical blackface, being the nigga, being the loudmouth, being the stereotype, being what the curses said that we would be, but you're being paid to act like that. You're being paid to showcase curses, man. Let me see what else it got. Look at Minstrel Show, modern rap video. A minstrel show today is modern day rap video. See? Zip Coon, ignorant thug rapper. Jezebel, over sexualized music video vixen, reality TV persona. Okay. In short, minstrel shows were America's first mass entertainment industry, building racist stereotypes in culture. Today, many corporations still exploit those same stereotypes, not with burnt cork blackface, but by selectively promoting certain rappers, entertainers, and narratives that reduce black and brown people to characters. See? Characters. See? And this is the curses, man. And he has a prophet. This is why he uses us. Deuteronomy 28:45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee and shall pursue thee and overtake thee till thou be destroyed. So now Jake's so destroyed that they're willing and have no problem in acting out of a lifestyle that they're coming from as long as they're getting paid for it. Because thou hearkeneth not unto the voice of the Lord, Yahweh Shemel Shai, thy power, to keep his commandments and his statutes which he has commanded thee. And this is why ultimately the destruction of Babylon is what's going to stop this modern day minstrel show. Okay. Isaiah 6, and because we can get on Esau, but Jake's also participating with it. Isaiah 6:9, and he said, go and tell this people, hear ye indeed, but understand not, and see ye indeed, but perceive not. Make the heart of this people fat and make their ears heavy and shut their eyes, lest they see with their eyes and hear with their ears and understand with their heart and convert and be healed. Then said I, Lord, how long? And he answered, until the cities be wasted without inhabitants and the houses without man and the land be utterly desolate. There you go, man. Okay, so this using of Jake and capitalizing off of the curses through cash of corporations will continue until Babylon is ultimately destroyed. All right. So I just wanted to do that quick lesson. I pray that it was edifying. And I just want to say, call halal, abanawa, Yahweh, Bashim, Yahushai, Bashim, Rakakwadash. Double honors to my elders, bishops, and apostles of Great Millstone that do well. Peace and salutations to the Lord's elect. With that being said, shalom.